Johnson Attorneys Group, protecting the rights of our clients and their families.
I know exactly what was going on in my life at the time when I started the law firm. It was called a growing family. My wife and I had three young children, 5 years old, 3 years old, and a newborn. And so it was hectic. And what we did, or what I did, was I learned how to balance because, as everyone knows, with young children, they take up a lot of your attention. And so what I did is I was able to learn how to balance my life. And that really helped because I was working like crazy, building the firm, hiring employees, talking to a lot of clients all the time. But I did find balance. So it was an exciting time. One of the problems with the legal community was the insurance companies. They would go out in droves and try to get people to sign away their life. People would be injured, and a lot of them catastrophically. And they would call my office and they'd ask if I could help. And when I found out that the insurance company had already gone out and had them sign their life away for $1,000, it was problematic for me. And and that is a catalyst, and it always has been the catalyst, is to beat the insurance company in their own game because they've created a game, unfortunately. But for my clients, it's real life. And so, what I need to do and have always done from the very inception is created um, a law firm where I care about my clients and I get them through that whole mess that the insurance company has created. So, I've always been an athlete. Love basketball, but my love is running. And so I ran the mile and super fun. And when I would stand on that starting line, my goal every time was to win. And then when I started college and I continued to run collegiately, I loved chemistry. And don't ask me why, because most people, when they hear chemistry or biochemistry, they just run and bolt the other direction. But it fascinated me, the science and the athletics combined, because as you know now, everyone are better athletes. Way back when I started, no. But now everyone is so much better, and the reason because of that, or the reason is because of the science. When I was in college, I started working for a plaintiff personal injury lawyer. And what's interesting is I was able to take all of that experience, athletics and the chemistry, and build it into my next love, which is helping clients. And I just absolutely love winning and beating the insurance companies and allowing my clients to get better and to be well compensated. What had happened is my collegiate eligibility had ended. And so obviously I needed to get a job because I had had a scholarship and that had paid for all of my education and so forth. And so the job with the lawyer came about, and it just was a perfect fit because um, I've always cared for other people. And what happened is all of a sudden, the science background, because a lot of the injuries has to do with science and the medical field and how to get my clients better and what type of treatment should they get. And all of that background that I had with my education helped me better represent those clients. I want to make sure that I treat my clients just like I treat my own family. And over the years, and there's some clients that are a little bit rough around the edges, fine. But you just give them some tender loving care. And I got to tell you, they are great clients, even if they're rough around the edges. But early on, it was really exciting. And I started out, I had my office in my house, and every once in a while, one of the little kids would climb up and want to sit on my lap, And so even to this day, they remember and they reminisce of, remember when we sneaked into the office and we listened to you talk to someone on the phone, and so it was really exciting time in my life. My wife, I would bounce ideas off of her, and she doesn't have a law background or a business background, but she was a good listener and gave me great suggestions and was always encouraging me um, all along the way. And so I would give her all the credit. So anyone that goes out for a run with me or a bike ride, I mean, I usually bike more now because my knees and so forth, but anytime I'm out athletically, back then and currently, knows that if I see someone ahead of me, I will always speed up to try to pass them, no matter who it is. And that is kind of how I represent my clients. I look at the competition, I look at all the obstacles because I've seen it all. I've seen all the obstacles. I've represented so many clients. I know what their doubts are, I know what their concerns are. And we put all that out, um, and we talk together and we get to a point where they understand and what is that end result going to look like? And that brings them hope. Because when my clients call, a lot of times there is no hope. They're just spiraling downward because of the injuries. They can't work. Um, they're stuck with some doctor or whatnot. But that's really the competition. It is a competition. You don't just sit here, throw the file in the corner and collect dust a year from now. That's not how it goes. It's a proactive approach to representing these clients. It is so important to take care of these clients. And really it is a competition because that the opponent is the insurance company and anyone else who's against your client. And what you have to do is you have to put up your dukes. You gotta uh, take your sword out, and you have to win. And you need to make sure that you represent those clients in the way that is the best way to get that end result.